Welcome. It's time for Blocktalk. We really should get around to like having like some intro music or something. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. That's like Sports Center or something. Anyways, we are on Bitcoin block 417.838. So we're 1.5 difficulty changes away. Actually, like 1.25. That's we're getting pretty damn close. Like, look at this clock here. It's almost at midnight. It's gnarly. Anyways, let's talk about some of our awesome sponsors here quickly. We have Starcoin. These guys are based in Spain, and they're kind of doing work all around the world right now, helping novices and kind of computer noobs get used to the crypto world, because you know what, security and managing your wallets and everything is kind of a tough task, and some people might struggle with it, or they kind of want someone to hold their hand. And Starcoin's really doing that. With incentivizing their debit card network that they're building, which will have Bitcoin and Starcoin and some other altcoins that will be announced soon. So yeah, check them out today. Starcoin. It's currently traded on Bittrex. So let me refresh this page. But Bittrex is a wonderful altcoin exchange that's been registered and with the Bit license to prevent any downtime with their customers. So these guys are too legit to quit. Like they're really probably the best altcoin exchange that's going on right now. Really deserve all the volume. But they're actually currently offering an ICO for Breakout Coin. So yeah, this is the kind of the landing page for it. You guys can sign up, and this is all kind of done in a trusted manner. So like Bittrex is being the escrow. So if you feel you're having a hard time trusting the guys on the show today, you always can trust the Bittrex guys to make sure your funds are safe. And finally, we have the live chat going. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them. I'll monitor it closely. But without further ado, let's get to our main panel here. Hi guys, I'm Alex, and we are here with Breakout Coin. First off, we have James at Breakout Coin.
Hello. Should I introduce myself? I'm James Stroud. I'm the developer for Breakout Coin.
Cool. So you do all of the more blockchain level stuff then, or?
I do. I've done all the coin stuff so far. Yes, all the coin development.
All right, cool. And then we have your partner in crime here. Sorry if I pronounce this wrong. It's Gian?
Jan Peroni.
Jan Peroni. Welcome, Jan. And what is your role with Breakout Coin?
Yeah, thanks, Turkey. Yeah, my role is to look after the gaming operations for the Breakout Gaming Company, which is a separate entity from the Break Coin, but it's the reason that we've created the coin.
Cool. And then finally, I actually brought a panel member on here to help me with the interview. We have Brian Beamish, the Rational Investor.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Alex. Hi, guys. Really excited to hear some presentation.
Right.
Hope you're having a good night. Is it? Wow, it's already sundown there back east, eh?
Yeah, the sun goes down at like 9:30 here, so it'll be coming to you shortly, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show, Brian. Like as I told the guy from the Cabbage team before we started the show, is like this is kind of like a Dragon's Den type show, and you know what, Brian, you can be my Kevin O'Leary if you want.
No, I'm the nice one. I'm not. I don't know his name. I probably should find out his name. I'm the cool guy that everybody wants to be friends with, right?
All right. I'll be Kevin, man. All
right. Yeah, you can play the hard ass.
All right. So let's get into the nitty gritty here. So maybe James, you can actually, or whoever wants to, I guess, take the helm here. Tell us exactly what Breakout Coin is and what you guys are trying to achieve.
Okay, I guess I'll take that one. Well, Breakout Coin is so I don't know what to call it really. It's kind of like the Breakout project. There's really the main facet of it, is, in my perspective, is the coin, and that coin was developed to meet the needs of a coin sale that happened in 2014. And at that time, there was a developer on board named Jay Berg who has moved on to other projects, and he envisioned a coin. The way I describe it is he envisioned a coin with Berg stake, and what that means is the Berg stake is a staking mechanism that's separate from the coin. So in this original coin sale, what you bought was the coin and the stake, and you could actually transfer the coin but keep the staking potential. And so that's what people bought in that coin sale. And he moved on. He was never able to finish the project, and it kind of so the Breakout team, I joined them later, struggled to find a developer, and finally I came along and really thought it was a cool idea, actually, that Jay had. And so my vision of his vision, was that what you would want, because is two separate currencies. One is a staking currency, and the other is a coin currency, and the staking currency will stake the coin currency. And I thought that was his idea, and the advantage from my perspective was that if it was another coin that could stake another coin, now that staking potential is transferable. Before it wasn't, because it was all wrapped up in the private keys. And so, yeah, I finished up that aspect of it, developing the coin, and Gian can tell you more about what Breakout Gaming is doing, and our first use case is partnering kind of with Breakout Gaming, and we're going to loan them coins that they can use for this promotional aspects of their services, and that's already happening. There's already lots of tournaments, which I would love to play in, but I'm resisting because it seems like so much fun. It will take so much of my time. But there's always been a lot of tournaments with where there's been basically giveaways, and these aren't like they're just sending out coins. Gene can tell you more about this. People get these coins in their accounts, and so that's the kind of that gaming side of it, and the coin side and the gaming side are kind of really separated, and these coins that are used for the promotional purposes actually need to be paid back in a loan to the coin company. So this is going to remove it hopefully it should remove all of the downward pressure, because at the end of the day, the coin company needs to the gaming company needs to get back all those coins and pay back the loan. Anyway, that's probably as much as I can say about the coin side. I probably stepped into the gaming waters, and I think probably Gian would take it from there, actually.
Yeah. Let's hear a little more about the games, I guess, and then we'll kind of come back to the coins again, because I'm definitely curious still. There's a lot to be told. So, what kind of games are you specializing in?
So, the original concept was to be able to come up with a new coin that we use specifically for the gaming world. My personal background is in online gambling. I've been in there for the last 19 years, creating and managing sites, mostly poker, casino, a little bit of sportsbook and bingo. But we wanted to create a new coin that would be focused on the gaming industry. And since we started the company, we've now expanded into servicing not just gamblers but also gamers. So our rollout plan is we've launched our free-to-play poker site, breakoutpoker.net. That's up and running. We launched that 3 weeks ago. In another 3 weeks from now, we'll be launching Breakout PvP, which is a full esports site. You'll be able to play Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, League of Legends, 2, and we'll be adding more games to that as we go along, and that grows up. We're going to be opening a full digital game downloader, very similar to Steam. That will open up in August, and we have right now about 1,800 titles from most of the top publishers. So you pick up Doom or Fallout 4 or FIFA 60, whatever it is you need. And then we will be moving into a full gaming platform that will include poker, casino, sportbook, virtual sports, fantasy sports, lottery, bingo, the whole bit. So the concept is that through the use of the Breakout coin, which will denominate the majority of the gaming sites, not only do we provide a use case for Breakout, but we'll also take fiat currencies as well. So ultimately what we're going to be doing is introducing a much wider audience to cryptocurrencies. We'll give them the opportunity to come in with the wallet system or the currency that they're familiar with using, whether it's an alternate cryptocurrency, for example Bitcoin, or whether they're using Breakout already. But by denominating our games in there, we'll be able to, again, not only provide a use case for Breakout, but be able to keep the value of the Breakout coin up because it'll be in active use at all times.
Sorry, did you say you're going to have fiat portals? So, like, you guys are going to be able to buy directly through you, or?
Right, so they won't be able to buy Breakout directly from us, but what they'll be able to do is, so for example, let's say you come to the poker site, you'll be able to use, euros, pounds, dollars, whatever you like to make your deposit. But once you've made your deposit, what happens is that we're effectively buying Breakout from the market to put into the games. And because we're legal and licensed and regulated, we're going to follow that best practice that says you have to have 100% of player deposits secured at all times. So the way it will work is if somebody comes in and uses a fiat currency, we'll buy Breakout from the market in order to be able to cover that deposit. When somebody goes to cash out, they'll be able to either cash out their Breakout through an exchange. Will be carried on Bittrex initially, and obviously hope to move into additional exchanges. But we'll also continue to give them that option to cash out their Breakout into a fiat currency, in which case we'll handle the sale of the Breakout back onto the exchanges. So the reason that we're doing this is to, again, provide wider market exposure for maybe aren't yet familiar with cryptocurrencies, try and educate people on the value of them, how it's such an absolutely perfect currency for the gaming world. And by having this wide variety of game platforms, we're able to service all the markets. So, for example, in the United States, we'll offer our free poker, we'll offer our game store, we'll have FTC Sports in the states that are legal. Our eSports is legal in 44 states right now, so that'll be offered. And it's the same with every jurisdiction. Whatever we can do based on our licenses, do, but at no time will we ever be offering anybody anything that isn't fully legal in the country that they're.
Well, yeah, that was, I guess, kind of my question I asked before. We have Andrew joining us late here, but welcome, Andrew. He's our kind of resident blockchain gaming fan and expert enthusiast. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I'm super into blockchain gaming, so I wanted to come hear what you're all about.
Oh, great.
Good to meet you.
And good morning to you, Andrew.
Yeah, I've been working on a blockchain gaming website. I'm not going to say the URL yet because I have to buy one more domain name, but that keeps me up at night. Sorry.
Oh, it's quite all right. Thanks for joining us, Andrew. So, as I was kind of mentioning before the show, in terms of legal entities, and well, you guys wouldn't be on Bittrex if you weren't, of course, legal. But let's see, on Coinbase, it's in their terms of service that you're not allowed to send Bitcoin to gambling sites. And actually, this was pointed out in a really rather funny way when Brian Armstrong said when the whole hard fork argument was going on, it's like, I'll bet anyone with Bitcoin that we can hard fork without an issue. And someone tweeted right away, it's like, you just violated your own terms of service. So how are you guys you making sure you're legal with all these different countries, because online gaming or online gambling, is kind of a gray area. It seems like there is some legal framework in place.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. And this is kind of my area of expertise. When our gambling properties, we will have a license in Curacao, which the reason that Curacao is one of our licensed jurisdictions is because they're friendly. Isle of Man is looking at opening up their licensees to cryptocurrencies probably this fall. It's really something a lot of their licensees like PokerStars are pushing. And we're also, so we'll have licenses in 3 of the major jurisdictions. What those licenses allow us to do is to offer gambling into the countries that are supported by those licenses. So it's not like we can all of a sudden come into the U.S. and say, hey, we've got a UK license, so here's some real money poker. So again, based on the jurisdiction and based on their licensing requirements and opportunities, that's where we will offer those. But for example, if we take a look at our game store, being able to offer a retail digital download of Fallout 4, there's no legal issues there whatsoever. We can take the Breakout just as we will take Bitcoin and take the standard retail wallet transfer and Bob's your uncle. With games like Fantasy, with ESports, with skill games, we'll be adding a social gaming platform. Again, because those are legal in the jurisdictions where Coinbase is, I don't expect there to be any issues there. But this is why we've always said that where we have a restriction on a cryptocurrency or within the gambling property, then we will keep it external and do exactly what the gold coins of the facility, which is we'll take the currency, we will transfer that externally, turn it into the fiat currency to facilitate your play action, and that way the gambling site is, in contravention of any rules. But as the markets open up and as the legal climate gets more healthy for cryptos into the gaming market, we'll be right there and ready to turn those on as we go.
Okay, cool. No, a very well-worded answer. Brian, I'm not sure if you have any questions on the legal side. You're maybe a little more familiar with gambling. Not to say you have a problem or anything, but
no, I wouldn't. Just as somebody standing on the side listening to the story, do you have any sort of exclusive contracts or anything with any of these specific sites?
We have licensing agreements, either white label or with platform providers. So, for example, our poker software is provided out of Austria, so we have a white label agreement with them. They're a licensed company. Our gambling platform will have licensing as well.
You had talked about you said there's a gold standard of this type of crypto. I guess what I'm hearing is that you're you want to join a peer group of these currencies that are used in this function. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, no. What I meant was that the Breakout coin, of course, as our primary currency is what we're going to use to denominate what we can. So, for example, again, our game store will be, all the pricing for your games will be in Breakout. But we will accept wallet transfer, other cryptos, and accept fiat currency. So if somebody wants to use their NetTeller or their PayPal or their credit card, that's all fine. Ultimately, what we want to do is support the value of the Breakout coin and make that not only are there use cases, but because we're going to be buying it from the market ourselves, there isn't a situation like how the new coins come out where it's got a great idea, but then when somebody goes to use it, there isn't really a place to use it except for internal type of trading.
Well,
that's why we believe that.
Yeah, my question is they say with these things, build a better mousetrap, right? Why use your coin over a competitor's coin? You know what I mean? That would just be my general question. Is it because if you want to do something on this specific site, you got to use your coin, or what makes you different than the rest?
No, absolutely not. I mean, again, we're huge supporters of Bitcoin, and we're huge supporters of anybody that comes out with a legitimate coin, and we'd like to, have a mutually beneficial relationship and support the use of their coins as well. We created the Breakout coin for 2 reasons. One was, of course, to be able to come up with a coin that was gaming focused, but unlike other coins that maybe have gone into the gaming industry, again, to provide something that that's tangible. And the second thing is that from a business perspective, by creating our own coin, it allows us to have a marketing budget in those coins, which makes it easier for us to go out, generate new traffic, bring in acquisition at a lower cost. So, again, for people that are comfortable using a different coin, fair enough, not a problem. We will certainly be happy to accept it, but we will then turn that into Breakout during that experience.
Right. So, okay. Well, that's cool. Thank you. Sorry. Just was curious. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for that question, Brian. Yeah, as you kind of mentioned, you have your own chain, and that allows you to do a lot more. So from your website, I'm seeing actually 3 different tokens here. You have BRX, BRK, and then SIS. So maybe, James, you could tell me a little bit more about all these different currencies that you have on your coin or your chain.
Okay. Well, I guess the first thing is I should talk about why they're there. I did mention, the origins of BRK and BRX. BRK is the coin component, and BRX is the staking component. So the BRX is the breakout stake, and that allows people to secure the network through a proof of stake mechanism. But what it mints is not more breakout stake. That supply is completely fixed. It mints more breakout coin. It's pretty much the same proof of stake mechanism everybody understands already, except it's divided into 2 different currencies, the stake and the principal. Now there's sister coin, and what that is it is just my way to put in some added security into the chain. People can mine sister coin. You can mine it through proof of work. And the emission characteristics are exactly the same as Bitcoin. There's a 21 million money supply. Halving is every 4 years. Sister coin blocks are on average every 10 minutes. You get exactly the same emission as Bitcoin. I only chose that because seemed good. But so you get the proof of work mechanism, and there's no sacrifice here on the main coin, on the operational coin that we're focusing on Breakout coin. Those emission characteristics are stuck at 5% per year. So if there's it seems like the world to me is divided into 2 camps. There's the proof of stake people and the proof of work people. And here, this is a hybrid proof of stake, proof of work coin, where the proof of work does not dilute the money supply of the proof of stake coin. So I guess the way to put it is there's a little bit there for everybody. And I should mention that so I call this whole mechanism multi-currency. And there's something like 2 billion possible currencies. I've hard-coded a few into them, but there can be more currencies later. And the cool thing about these is that they fully support the scripting capabilities that we know from Bitcoin. So you can have multi-signature, pay-to-script hash. I might be talking to the more coin technical people. You can have any sort of proof mechanism for any of these coins that Bitcoin type scripting engine can support. So unlike Counterparty or Next or I don't know what Waves came out with, what the technology is behind that. I don't even know. I haven't looked at the implementation.
I think Waves is just a fork of NXT, but they have a marketing budget.
Oh yeah, they had a great marketing budget. And anyway, so those, like, if you want to do a multi-signature, say with Counterparty, you've got to register a multi-signature address. When you do a multi-signature, say with BitShares, which is very highly technically advanced base, you pretty much have to register all those addresses with the blockchain before you use it. Here with the Bitcoin scripting engine, if anybody knows how that works, you submit a script hash, and that is your payment address, and you don't have to reveal what goes into that multi-signature address until the time you you spend from it. So there's all these nuances and power that comes with a scripting engine. In Bitcoin, it's available to every currency on the chain. Right now, I hard-coded a few currencies in there. I hard-coded the deck of cards, which, I hope I get to talk about. But there can be new issuances, and all those issuances, any issuance on the chain can be like a token, and that there is no crosstalk between any two currencies, unless you want them in there. So we don't want any crosstalk with Breakout Coin or Breakout Stake, and there is no crosstalk with those. That mechanism is simple and clear. Breakout Stake mints Breakout Coin. So anyway, that's the platform I built, and I'll be extending it as well.
Well, it's definitely I'll call it innovative because I don't think I've ever really seen anything quite like it before. Maybe someone will correct me on that. But so with BRK and BRX, are you guys gonna have two markets on Bittrex? And is it if it is one, is it one address? Like I'm kind of confused about the addressing. I mean, maybe need to look into it more.
Oh yeah, let me talk about the addressing. It's very simple. So again, this is a little bit technical. If anybody is familiar with the Bitcoin style addressing that pretty much every coin uses except the Next and a few others, what those are is public key, hashed, and then you put a network byte in front. And so when it all comes down, you have something like 33 bytes after you've done the hashing and the base 58 compression of the whole thing. Here, what you do before you do that base 58 compression is you just append a currency byte. And you get, so at this moment, you get 256 currencies because of the currency byte. But that's extensible. So that's not the limiting. That doesn't limit the number of currencies. But at the implementation right now for the limited number of currencies that I have on the chain, which is 57, I can pack all that into a single byte just to make the addresses shorter. That gets prepended, and then there's the base 58 compression, and you get the address. So each currency has just a different type of addressing scheme, and you don't have to say I'm sending, some bro stake to somebody. You just say I want to send X amount to this address, and of course the client knows exactly which currency you mean because of the currency byte that's in the front. And I could probably go on about extensibility, but you could pack 4 bytes in there if you needed. That's really not a big implementation issue.
Is it 2 markets then, or is it going to be one?
Oh no, I mean these are separate currencies, so it would be 2 markets. At such point that these markets exist. Breakout Coin will have a market, and Breakout Stake is perfectly capable of having a market. And I'd say on the workflow side for an exchange, it's nothing for them to support any currency on the chain. Obviously, they wouldn't want to support Queen of Spades or something, right? That's a currency on the chain, a Queen of Spades. Of course, because there's only one of those, right? But they can support Sister Coin or Breakout Coin, and it's very easy. All you have to do is for each currency, you have a separate client running and separate instance of the client, and then you have one line, and it just says what is the default currency, and the reason for that, one line in the config file. The reason for that line in the config file is just so it can be integrated into any exchange in a heartbeat. All they have to do is say default currency equals BRX, and then their whole workflow that works for any other coin, that's Bitcoin based, will work for this, and then they can support it without any messing around.
Okay. Well, we'll get to assist or to.
So I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, yeah, like I said, innovative to have a proof of work and proof of stake, not necessarily a hybrid, but actually as kind of separate tokens on the same chain. So we'll get to DEC in a second, but can you tell me more about SIS, the sister coin?
I'm sorry, you broke up. To tell you more about Syscoin?
Yeah.
Or which
Yeah.
coin?
SIS. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a proof of work coin.
Okay.
In terms of, maybe you might be wondering, what level of support are we going to give it in terms of promoting its adoption? Maybe that's probably the key question. And the answer to that is we'll provide full infrastructure for it. And the reason is, and what I mean by that is, any client we have will fully support SisterCoin. Any block explorer or any API that we develop will fully support SisterCoin. And the reason is because you have to support it because it's on the chain. But it's not going to be. It will probably be accepted, right? At any, for said, they'll accept whatever coin people want to spend with them. He can correct me here, but in terms of promoting its adoption like we promote Breakout Coin, we probably won't do that. But even so, I think what in my perspective, it's not about the coin; it's about blockchain security. And even with that, I think there'll be enough interest in SisterCoin to throw their ASICs at it, for pools to open and people to mine it. Because let's face it, I don't know if I'm a miner, I'll mine anything. And a lot of people feel that way. They just like mining coins, hitting blocks, building their wallets, as long as it's not breaking, as long as they're not spending $700 a month on electricity. So I'm mining SisterCoin right now with a few ASICs, and a lot of people are, and they don't, it's just mining. And when there's markets, there'll be more demand, there'll be more hashes on it, and if those hashes, for some reason, retargeting gets, somebody comes on with some huge hashes, and the block times get super long. There's proof of stake to move the chain along every 10 minutes, and when it recovers, I don't know if y'all have ever mined, but sometimes people will come along and pool hop. And when they pool hop, they really throw some hashes, and then you've got to wait, like 4 hours or something for a block. That's not going to happen because we have proof of stake moving the chain as well. But I hope that answers your question about SisterCoin. It's important because it's part of the chain, but it's not as important as the Breakout coin from our perspective. And then my feeling is that it's not going to be significantly hurt security because we have the proof of stake mechanism there as well, and people just like to mine coins, so I think there's going to be plenty of hashes on it too.
I think you're correct in that. So let me just kind of summarize, just for my understanding, anyone watching. So you have BRK, which is the one you're currently doing an ICO for, and that's proof of stake. And then you have BRX, which is a proof of work coin on the same chain.
Oh.
But then you also have
No, BRX. I'm sorry. BRX is the stake, and BRK is the coin. So they're both currencies, but like the coin is BRK and the stake for that coin is BRX.
Okay.
The BRX mints the BRK. You never stake BRK. You only
BRK
stake
is
BRX.
a fixed supply. Okay, I get it now.
No, I'm sorry. BRX is a fixed supply.
Oh, okay. So what's going to be on Bittrex first?
BRK.
BRK. Okay, so
That's
the staking of people's ICO coins, or
yeah, the basically what we're selling is going to be the market right now, and but the security is driven by the Bro stake. So there's Bro coin, which you can just think of as like the coin, and Bro stake, which you can think of as like the stake, and we're selling the coin and the coin sale on Bittrex right now. Now here's the thing, because I guess because I like stuff real complicated, and so does the rest of the team. We have incentive levels of sales that if we hit these targets, we actually reward coin buyers with Breakout stake. But right now, the amount of Breakout stake is very limited, and the stuff that's out there is very limited. And I said Bro coin because of a bad habit, because I developed it for a long time, and we changed the name. It's Bro stake. Sorry about that. I mean Breakout coin and Breakout stake.
Okay. Yeah, no, I remember hearing that in some of the chats in the AMA. You guys used to be Bro was the ticker, but then now you kind of have moved to this whole new company. You guys are starting fresh and doing an ICO. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of refer to it as Breakout too. Bro was kind of cool, but Bro is maybe a little old school and doesn't appeal to everybody. The BRK made a lot more sense for us, and certainly fits into Breakout Gaming because Bro Gaming was just awful.
Yeah, no, I think you guys definitely made a good decision with branding and the ticker and everything. I got a good question here coming from the YouTube chat from Tiny Tom's. Like, he's wondering more about SIS having the fees from other coins on the chain. So yeah, like if they're network fees usually when you send a transaction, who's getting those fees? Is it whoever solves the block, whether it's stakers or proof of workers, or?
Oh yeah, no, this is another thing. Okay, yeah, get your notepads or a chalkboard or something because it's gonna get more complicated. So, saying bro again. Breakout stake on a proof of stake mechanism. The way it was envisioned by Sunny King, and I've kind of stayed true to his vision here, is that stakers they don't get any fees. Okay, so I maintain that. Breakout stake, if you stake a block with breakout stake, you don't get any fees that were sent on that block. So all those fees are accounted for. They kind of disappear until the next proof of work block. And then the proof of work miner can claim all the fees from any proof of stake block since the last proof of work block. And I call that, probably should have came up with a better name, I call it fee scavenging. So proof of work miners can scavenge any fee. So they're not just mining sister coin, they're mining whatever anybody paid a fee on. And right now all the fee currencies are that you pay fees with are sister coin, breakout stake, and another coin on the chain which I don't want to mention because it'll just make the whole story more complicated, but there's another one you pay fees with, and called Atomic, and you can collect any paid in any currency with one proof of work block. It doesn't have to match the currency.
Okay, James, you seem like you're very well versed and understand blockchain technology very well. So what projects I guess were you involved with before Breakout and I guess Bro?
Well, I've helped out on a bunch of projects, and there's probably one that I was a dev on, called Stealth Coin that people have probably heard about. It's still around. It's listed on Poloniex. Doesn't have a super high market cap. I've kind of been involved in the Breakout Coin project, there was several people involved with that, and I was the one guy who had my name out there. So everybody kind of associates me with that project 100%. I mean, and I still support that. I still work on it and make sure that make sure the chain is running, make sure that there's bootstraps available. But really, my main project, has been Breakout Coin for the past year. I've worked on it very, very extensively, and it was and really when I started, I got involved in blockchain, it just before it ramped up in 2014, like in the fall, and it caught my interest and exploded. Before I could get any, literally it exploded while I was trying to get money to an exchange so I could buy some Bitcoin. Anyway, one of the first things that I always thought it would be really cool, if a blockchain could carry several currencies. And this was right at the time when Next had just had an ICO, and I didn't really even understand what Next was, and Counterparty was just getting ready to do their proof of burn. In fact, I was reading about this Counterparty stuff and not really knowing what they were talking about. But I always thought it would be cool if there could be special little coins on a blockchain. And well, it turns out that these have a name. These are called colored coins. And so I actually started working on that idea. I cloned a coin. I can't remember which coin I cloned. I think it was like 42 coin, and I started working on that, and I kind of dropped it after a while because it was kind of challenging. And then I kind of stuck around. I worked on the Stealth Coin project and a few others. And finally, when Breakout Coin was was searching for a dev, I'd actually invested in their coin sale, and I got wind that they're like, the holdup here is they're really looking for a dev. I mean, it's super talented people on the gaming side, and that includes Gian and Paul and Randy, and they had these awesome poker stars, and I was like, well, what do they need? So because I just wanted to see. I was like anybody else who invested in CoinCell, like, show me the money. So I was like, what do y'all need? What help do y'all need? And they said, well, we need somebody to replicate, this Berg stake. And I was like, man, this is a great opportunity because maybe I can get these guys to pay me to implement my vision of these coins running around on a blockchain. And that's really how our collaboration started. Now I'm more integral into the team, and I love it. But yeah, they paid me to implement this. Probably they got a good deal, but I'm not going to complain. I got to do what I wanted to do, and I got paid for it. It was awesome. Oh yeah, Gian, man, I forgot to mention. Yes. No, they've compensated me.
We'll talk offline.
So,
okay.
James, you're very well skilled, and it sounds like you guys have a decent bit of a budget here. But do you guys have anyone kind of auditing your code? Like one question I've gotten in the chat here was like, how are you guys preventing any sort of like DAO-like scenario where a mistake has been made by someone internal and no one external has been checking it to kind of find it beforehand?
Yeah, I mean that's true. So I've been over the block validation myself like 20 times. I mean, I don't know if that's going to satisfy anybody, but the thing is I actually I have the first blockchain code validation company. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm qualified to do it. That's not going to satisfy anybody. I mean, the sources are going to be released, and I'm pretty confident, in my ability to make sure that it's secure. One thing, though, is there's not a lot of DAO-like smart contract stuff in there. I mean, I want to put a smart contract platform in, and I describe that in excruciating detail in the white paper using a stack-based language, which probably is a mistake. People want to see JavaScript. But anyway, but there's really nothing strange about it. It's a hybrid proof of work, proof of stake coin, and the only place for a mistake in here is if you let somebody get by and award themselves on a block. That's the only really new thing is somebody can write themselves a transaction whenever they win a block, and maybe they could write a transaction for more than they should, and that's a potential vulnerability I'm very aware of, and I've gone over that code, dozens of times to make sure that each check and each contingency is there. But in terms of the DAO, I mean, that was such. If you read about some of the analysis of that code, that was just such a spaghetti code scenario, and that's like. I know that's immodest, as if I'm saying I don't write spaghetti code, but I don't think I do, and there's not as much opportunity in what I've done for writing spaghetti code as there is into creating, a decentralized autonomous organization using smart contracts on the Turing-complete computing platform. It's just not the same opportunity. But we'll try to get an audit, and we've been talking about people who could do it, and no good names. I'd love a suggestion. You could name the guy right here, and we'll try to approach them.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
have
I gotta
someone in
say,
mind.
KCI guys are pretty good. From Starcoin, the guys who sponsor this show, they actually run kind of a consulting company, so maybe they might be one to review your platform. So Luke watches the show; he'll definitely be keen to talk to you guys. I'll make that connection. But yeah, it's really cool that you're actually doing a validation company yourself too. So maybe there can be a little co-working, and they can validate you validate them, that sort of thing. Because unless you're getting
Is it?
certified by that Craig Wright, I don't think anyone's gonna believe a certification in the blockchain world exists.
So is this SAR coin? SAR
Yes, that's
coin?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the. I certified their coin.
Oh, geez.
So
Okay.
there
So
you go.
the circle has already started. That's hilarious.
I mean, if it's the same coin, I certified a SAR coin.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's too incestuous. But I mean, I'm gonna be back certifying my own code again. I mean, then we'll have gone nowhere.
All right. Well, we'll see. Maybe we can get a third party in to review all the two of you then. But let's before we get too far down the rabbit hole of talking about news like the DAO hack and everything. Maybe I'll throw Andrew a bone here to see if he's got any questions. Andrew, curious at all? Otherwise, maybe we'll talk a little bit about the assets you guys have.
Yeah, I have some questions. First, I'm curious about maybe I missed this part, the cards. There's 52 cards on the blockchain. What's the purpose here? Can you explain? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, James.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're breaking up for me. Is anybody breaking up for anybody else? Because it could be my connection.
It might just be your connection, James, but I'll talk real slowly and say
Okay.
he asked about
That's not good.
deck. He asked about deck. You're coming through clear for me, though, so that's good. He asked about the deck, the 52 card assets that you have. So if you could explain that more.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I can try to explain that deck. So the deck is 53 colored coins. It's a standard deck of playing cards. Aces through kings, ace, 2, 3 through kings. All four suits. That's 52, and then there's a joker floating around out there. Each card is the way it's implemented. This is purely an implementation issue. Each card is a separate currency on the chain. Each has its own, addressing system. It has its own currency byte. And you send a card just like you send any other coin. The only thing is you never get to send more than one. You can send one card and that's it because there's only one. In a deck of cards, there's only one, as I said, like Queen of Spades. There's only one 4 of Hearts, and so on. And they're just they're colored coins, and you either own it or you don't. And so this is another complexity that I threw in just to make the cards more interesting. Is they are actually stake. So the cards are stake. Each card will stake sister coin. So I couldn't let them stake Breakout coin as cool as I thought that would be, because Breakout coin is the operational coin. That would just, even though it would be tiny, it would still dilute the money supply. But I thought, well, it would be neat if these cards did something besides just sit there. So if you own a card, every 8 weeks, I believe, you can open up your wallet and mint yourself a double block of sister coin, and all the cards. So there's I ramped it up just a little bit, just a few percent between the 2s and the aces, and the joker stakes like the aces. The 2s will stake a double block of sister coin plus 2 sister coin cents. And the aces will stake a double block plus 14 sister coin cents. So it's just the only reason I ramped it up is just to stratify the cards so that people knew, if I'm minting that extra 14 cents, I've got an ace, or I'm only minting 2 extra cents, I've got a 2. but the sister coin blocks are 50, so that means somebody's minting 100 sister coins and 14 cents. So it's not really that. It's not like you're getting rich having an ace, but it's just enough to stratify the cards. I hope that answered the question.
What about ways of like actually? I mean, I guess you couldn't effectively put them in a hand or a deck because being on chain would mean they would be revealed to all players. But it would be interesting if you had some gameplay mechanisms with them, like in Spells of Genesis or Hunter Coin or some other blockchain games coming out right now. They have on-game items which have effects and properties in the game.
Cool.
Have you thought about this?
Yeah. Oh no, totally. I thought about it, and I decided. So, I want to put that in, and I've been thinking about. I thought about this as soon as I came up with the cards. The game aspect of it would be, what's my reward for making a hand here, right? So one way you could do that is just they could just mint more sister coin if you had a full house versus if you just staked 2 pair. And I realized that the implementation on that is if you could identify the hand is not too hard. The problem is you have to do a couple of things. There's some considerations that make that hard. There's coin maturity, but nothing's impossible. Yeah, I want to do that. It's just that was just it's easy to say and it's a little bit hard to do. It's not impossible to do. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it just was a lot of coding. And there were just more pressing issues like getting it production ready, getting the whole chain production ready. But I'd love to go back and revisit that because it would be a lot of fun to try to collect and stake with a hand.
In the other games doing this, they don't have an aspect to the game like in poker or any kind of card game where you're hiding your hand. In Hunter Coin and in Spells of Genesis, it's completely okay for every card to be visible to everyone who has it and where it is. But if we tried to put poker or something on the chain, I don't know if you could effectively do that without. I don't know if it's technically possible to do that without revealing everyone's cards to everyone.
The stealth addresses that Stealthcoin has, and I guess you've implemented those here too. Like the stealth address technology might make it possible. I don't know. We're getting kind of into R&D mode now.
Well, yeah. I can just talk about this in terms of the cryptography. There's really nothing groundbreaking about hiding a hand. There's nothing groundbreaking about having a distributed shuffling mechanism. That's called I want to call it mind poker or something like that, brain poker or something. But they have a distributed hidden shuffling mechanism where you pass the cards around and you can shuffle it and nobody knows how you shuffled the deck, and nobody really knows what the content of the deck is until it's dealt out. And you can have a way to hide every card in your hand and make plays on whatever they're putting in the middle of the table, the flop and the river and all that. And
they are provably shuffled.
So I guess what could happen? No, they're never provably shuffled. This is going into cryptography. Because you can hand it to somebody and he can just hand the deck over to the next guy to shuffle in this kind of distributed shuffle thing, and everybody can do it. And it can come back to the first guy, and the deck would be exactly as he handed it off because he decided not to shuffle too. But here's the thing: the incentive is for everybody in the hand to shuffle the deck, right? Because if you pass it off, who's to say everybody doesn't pass it off? And this guy's gonna, if you do that once or twice, this guy's gonna know exactly the content of the hand. It's possible to not shuffle it, but if you're playing a game of poker and you have an opportunity to shuffle a deck, you take it. So there's game theory that makes sure the deck's shuffled, not necessarily cryptography.
That's a cool answer, yeah. That's the kind of stuff I was thinking about. So I'm more into, I'm not as much into gambling games. I've been investing in and promoting various cryptocurrencies for gaming, like just Hunter Coin, Bit Crystals, game credits, all of them. And I'm wondering if you'll get into more.
Oh, all of which have been interviewed by Blocktalk, so check out the channel below if you want to learn more about him.
Yeah, so I'm interested if, and I'm making a website where I'm buying and promoting all these, but all the ones I've been following so far are more skill-based games, like not so. I mean, there's some of them where there's an aspect where you can earn coins from playing, but only in a competitive scenario. For example, in Gamerholic Coin, he'll set up a thing where there's a big FIFA match on the server, and the winner will get a bunch of his Gamerholic coins. And that's kind of like crossing the line between betting and competitive gaming. I mean, I'm wondering if you're going to start to go more that way, or do you get what I'm asking?
Well, let me take that for a sec because we are launching a full esports platform in a couple of weeks, and we'll be able to play the, like I said, League of Legends or Dota or Counter Strike, Call of Duty. I mean, you will be able to play those not only in a heads-up environment but also multiplayer environment. So you can go in with four of you into, say, Call of Duty and work on kills and later. We've also put in there is a mechanism for looking at people's skill levels so that we can take somebody that's got a particular high skill level and maybe they have to have maybe more kills than the next person. But you're going to be able to actually not only wager in the breakout coin, but you'll also be able to win it in there. So we're kind of taking that blended thing where we're saying, yeah, let's put this into gaming, but when we come to community games like poker, we have to treat it more like a fiat currency. You can't do what Seals with Clubs did, for example, where you have a totally anonymous platform that uses a crypto, because it doesn't work that way. You have to be able to have not only that real-time action, but you have to be able to have the trust that there's only one unique person at the table. It's too easy if you go the other way to have 5 people out of 6 at the table all be the same person. So that's something that we've had to make sure that we're very strict depending on what that game is, that we keep everything honest and above board for the players.
That's pretty cool, yeah. That's what I was wondering about. I'm super into games, but I'm not so much into luck-based games because I hate it when I get terrible hands, I guess. I like strategy games, and I'm more of that kind of techno gamer, you know what I mean?
Well, Texas Hold'em is kind of a strategy game, though.
Well, they always say a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. I think it's one of the, when you look back in the old days being 30 years ago when poker started to hit the mainstream, the guys that were the best at it were chess players, bridge players, people that had that kind of mind, were able to calculate the odds, look at percentages, and the most successful people have been able to blend that with the psychology of poker. So one of the reasons that I think poker is so attractive to people that like yourself, Andrew, that are intelligent gamers, is that you have the opportunity to enhance the skill aspect of it. You look at different jurisdictions, and some people say, no, it's a game of chance, and other people say it's a game of skill. The reality is that the skill component outweighs the luck. You can, there's a great story of Annette Overstead who won a tournament without ever looking at her cards. You don't need to, if you put the game down and you understand the odds and you understand the psychology, it's a very, very intelligent and engaging game. You'll love it.
Can I count cards? Will that get me in trouble?
You can count all the cards you like in poker. In fact, it's encouraged. We won't kick you out, I promise.
Oh, sweet. That's good to know. I guess that's all my questions for now.
Thanks so much, Andrew, for your questions. I just one, I guess, more thing summarizing the deck assets that you have. So you guys currently are in possession of all of them, and then you're issuing them out as prizes right now for tournaments? Oh, James, you're muted.
James, unmute.
Okay, sorry about that. I was just trying to be polite and mute myself. Anyway, so I wanted to get a very good distribution of those, which means get a different card into a different person's hand, every card into a different person's hand. And so we have a very extensive test net running, and I recruited test netters, and each person, I pretty much interviewed them for participation in the test net. I mean, and so I'm pretty darn confident that every person that joined the test net was a different person. And then at the end of that, depending on which stage of the test net they joined, how much they participated, I used my judgment to divide them into 3 lottery tiers. And most of them were just in the top tier with face cards, high numbers. And then I picked the block of Bitcoin. And I wrote a Python program that took the block hash of a specific block in the future and randomly shuffled the cards based on the block hash and handed them out to everybody's public keys that they personally registered with me. And so that was a way to have a provably fair lottery. And then the cards just I sent them out based to the public keys based on what the block hash said. So that got cards, every card except about 13 or 14. I can't remember exactly. And now we have a few cards left, and we've had, Gene can correct me, I think we've only had 1 tournament for a card right now, and that was with, kind of with Bitrex, having fun with Bitrex with the poker tournament, and we gave out a card, and I don't remember who won that. And we're going to have a few more tournaments and try to give away the rest of the cards through tournaments.
Cool. So when's the next one?
So, Sturkey, we've got, I think right now we've probably got to distribute about 36 of the cards, a little bit closer to 40 now. We have another tournament with Bittrex on Sunday. It's going to be happening at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then we have, so 6 p.m. UTC. We're doing a tournament for the Reddit community on Wednesday at 1 p.m. PDT, and we're doing one for the Bitcoin Talk community on Friday. They're all open to everybody, of course. And you twist my rubber arm, I'll give you the passwords for them. But yeah, so each one of those 3 tournaments will also be giving out other cards. So that'll distribute 4 more. We'll be doing these kind of events to distribute the rest of the cards. And what's really interesting me as a non-crypto person is how much interest there's been in those cards already. I've seen some very compelling offers for people trying to buy each other's cards. So it's interesting how they've taken on a lot of their own.
Cool. So where can everyone come and find you guys and get to learn more about these tournaments and Breakout Coin and what you guys are doing?
Well, there's 2 places I'd recommend. First of all, for Breakout Poker itself, it's breakoutpoker.net. You can download it. It's available on all platforms. Although I warn you, we're just doing an HTML5 update, so it's a little bit unstable. But certainly for desktop and PC and Mac, it's a thing of beauty. I would also suggest that if anybody wants to know more about the coin, if they haven't already done so, breakoutcoin.com not only has information about the ICO that's on right now with Bittrex, but also has a really good explanation on the different multi-currencies, including the DAC and CIS and the BRX and BRK. So that may help clarify anybody that wasn't able to follow James's talk there. And so those are the 2 places I would go first. As I'd mentioned, the Breakout PP DOM will be live in 3 weeks, and that'll be for the esports, which I know Andrew's going to go to, right? And I think it's going to be a lot of fun there as well.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I know I'm going to have to do some more reading of your white paper to really understand the emission rate and how all these different markets are going to interact with each other, because it sounds like it's going to be very complex, and you know what? I love complexity. I think that really kind of helps hide the true value of what you guys are doing. So, yeah, I'll try and get a good summary of it for when I talk to Brian again on next Wednesday on the Coinergy show. I don't know, Brian, do you have any more questions if you're still there? Otherwise, maybe we'll wrap up here with Bitcoin price predictions.
Yeah, so you guys have an ICO coming up here. That was a big thing about tonight's show, right?
So yes, our ICO is in progress right now at Bitrix. It started on the 20. I can't even remember the actual date, but it runs until July 7th. We've tiered it in a way that we're providing bonuses over time. So right now, until Monday at 11 a.m. PDT, there's a 10% bonus on ICO investors. And the third week there'll be a 5%, and then for the last couple of days there won't be a bonus at all. But so it's.
Do you mind if I ask you what kind of money are you trying to raise, and what do you want to do with the money?
So, well, I guess the easy answer is as much as possible. But certainly our goal and what we're looking at right now from what we sold, we are just a slight hair under 600 BT at the moment. We certainly expect to double that by the end of the sale. So, 1,000, 1,200 would be acceptable. The timing has been good, but
do you have to put out any public disclosure of what it is you're doing with this capital when you raise it and how it's being managed? I mean, keep in mind, I'm a guy that comes from the stock market world, right? So I participated in tons of IPOs and seed capital financing and stuff, and so I'm just curious. If I was a guy who wanted to come and give you like $5,000 to work with, what am I buying with that $5,000? And what is it you're going to do with that $5,000?
Sure. So I'll address that in two ways. First of all, from a credibility standpoint, we had, and this was the condition of working with Bitrix. Bill was very clear that they had never looked at working with a coin that was going to go into the gaming industry, and it wasn't something that was high on their list of interests. But we got our lawyers and lawyers involved, and they went through all of the plans and what we were going to do. So they did a lot of due diligence on it before they accepted us, and we were very pleased, obviously, that passed that with flying colors. So there's been a fair bit of due diligence that's been done in the back, and again, everything that we're doing is going to be fully licensed and regulated. Our team, including myself, have a very, very strong gaming background. So what you're doing is you're investing in two things. You're investing in our vision to create a multi-platform gaming property, and you're investing in coin itself and the belief that coin, which is being supported through the gaming properties, is going to retain and increase in value.
How many coins are you trying to float here?
So there was, again, to give you the quick breakdown, there was 21 million originally. We sold approximately 3.3 million in our first ICO. We have 6.6 million for sale in the current ICO. 2.5 million were used for devs and founders, investors, and then there's 7 million balance is what's used as this marketing fund, which is something extremely unique that James created, which was the ability to take this marketing fund and be able to loan it to people in the industry that are looking for capitalization. And the first loan is going from James to me, essentially, to the game company to help us in our acquisition efforts, and then that will be paid back and be available to be used by other companies that are looking for that kind of support.
So you have to liquidate coins in the open marketplace to generate that money. Is that correct?
Yeah, kind of, but it's a little bit different because, if I come back to where I was at the beginning, we look at what happens with a gaming property is because we are going to follow that best practice, which is really a law with most jurisdictions, but we're going to follow it to avoid some of the debacles that have happened in the gaming industry. We're going to be buying more Breakout out of the market than selling ourselves, because as we distribute the Breakout coin to the market, it's on a very tight distribution. In fact, it's it's over 3 years before we're able to distribute. So we have a, I call it my allowance. I have a small amount of breakout coins that I can use over time so that we avoid flooding the marketplace with these. And
So
what we're doing...
I mean to interrupt, but what's the ICO funds used for? I bet it.
The ICO funds are used for things that where you have to have the currency, wages, office, hardware, software, etc. So the breakout coin itself, as use cases become more prevalent, obviously we'd be able to use our breakout coin to cover some of those. But right now, what we're using the breakout coin that we retain for is 100% for customer acquisition and promotion. We're rewarding not only through tournaments, but also through social mentions and friend referrals, etc.
And what's sorry, I just got to...
Oh, I think I...
Okay, go ahead.
I can try to throw in here. My problem is that for whatever reason, I have a pretty bad internet connection, so I can only hear part of the conversation. But I think the question was what was happening with the ICO fund or the coin sale funds, and those funds are going to the coin company. The coin company is going to hold those funds, and we're going to use that to develop what has been the additional features of Breakout Coin that have been proposed in the white paper. So to further coin development, and then also to pay for infrastructure for the coin, for mobile wallet development. We're going to have to hire developers for a mobile wallet. This is a brand new blockchain. If you take a look at the white paper, the smart contract state machine that I propose in there is going to take a significant amount of development. We're also going to have to, we have to write specialized block explorers. And for most projects, that would be a big deal. For this one, it's that's going to take a whole new block explorer. We have a whole new type of chain. We have to write an API for third-party services that we're going to serve up through Block Explorer, type server. So
I appreciate that you have a bunch of costs here, and I think this makes sense. We don't want to take up too much time. Totally hear what you're saying. I'm just worried that,
okay.
Do I hear correctly that if I buy into this ICO, do I get a little bit of that state coin, or do I just get the bigger coin? And who is it that gets those stake coins? And
the breakout stake.
Yeah.
Yes. So the breakout stake is.
If I participate in ICO, do I get some of that stake?
Oh, we have to hit the funding targets. So what we did is we have it's on the lower right-hand corner of the screen that I see. And I'm looking at bittrex.com/crowdfund/BRK. In the lower right-hand corner, it says Bittrex will also give away, so we're awarding these as incentive. Bro Stake is funding target rewards from a pool. And you can see, and these numbers, Bill was from Bittrex was trying to be helpful and help to set our tiers. And the lowest tier here is 2,000. We had a lower tier. The lowest tier that he suggested was 2,000. We said, well, he's very savvy about the business, so we'll take his advice. And under 2,000, nobody gets any bro stake. And over 2,000 bitcoins raised, people get 6 bro stake per 100 bought. After 5,000, they get 25 bro stake per 100 bought. So anyway, those were just so that people would, and these are approximate numbers. It's actually a smooth curve, which may not be represented in that page. And so that's the way to get bro stake now. There's also first sale buyers got bro stake at 1-to-1, and they took a lot of risk. Right, this project was a proposal at that point. Yeah, here's the curve down here. It's highlighted. Y equals 9.262, and so on and so forth. I'm kind of a math guy, so you have to look at equations. But in the first sale, the reason the first sale buyers got bro stake at 1-to-1 was because of the tremendous risk they were taking in that kind of coin sale. Now when people are buying Breakout coin and potentially Breakout stake if we hit the funding target, there's a lot less risk. The multi-currency platform is fully developed except for maybe some extensions like new issuances. Gian has basically built all of the, or assembled, I don't know how to say it, all the infrastructure for several different gaming verticals on that side. So so that's why we have these cutoffs, and it's really to really the incentive is to disincentivize somebody buying early and then trying to troll the thread, so that people won't buy, because really it's in their interest to get more reward is if people just keep buying, and then the early birds also get a bonus. Right now we're at the 10% bonus level, and last week was at 15%. So
at the same time, you got to appreciate that if I'm a guy, I go on that BitterX site and I see the 2,000 threshold and I see, well, maybe they're not going to make it. That's a big disincentive if I know that you got to get up to 2,000.
Yeah, I mean,
before I get those stakes. I guess so. The point that I have here is, let's say I'm Joe Sixpack and Brocoin's trading away here, right?
Right.
And my concern is I was a bit, keep in mind I come from the stock market, so I was a little bit shocked when I saw this. I really liked the Digibyte story, when initially when it had a few million coins out, and I hear that you guys are going to start yours, like I think I heard you say the 20 million number, right? And then I look at Digi today and I see it's got like 6 billion coins out. So my dollars invested as a percentage of the story have just been diluted to shit. So the question ultimately is that sort of the path that this coin's going to go down? Like a year or two from now, am I going to see that you guys have like a gazillion coins out?
No, there's the dilution of, there's no dilution of Breakout stake ever.
Yeah,
I mean, people are going to lose their wallet, so it's anti-inflationary. That's the mechanism.
It sounds like
So
Brian,
a Brocoin,
with all the different currencies, though, you guys may be spreading yourself a little thin. That's just the concern I think Brian's kind of bringing forward.
well, I mean, right now, I mean,
all I'm looking at this is as an investor, right? I apologize.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. The reason I'm talking over you is because it's cutting out on me. So I apologize if it sounds like I'm talking over you. I'm just kind of talking when I hear a gap. For whatever reason, my audio is really bad.
Go for it.
So I'm sorry. But okay, so first of all, there's the only crosstalk with Breakout coin is with Breakout stake, and that's the 5% inflation that comes with the staking mechanism.
Right.
Sister coin is not in competition. I'm sorry?
And that's capped?
Yeah, it's capped at 5%. It's actually checked in the block reward is based on the existing money supply.
Okay.
So you can never have.
I remember I'm a stock guy. I'm not a smart crypto guy. You guys are all like super smart when it comes to this. I just again, and I'm just wondering if it's almost I want a chunk of that stake, but I'm hearing that I might not even be able to get a chunk of the stake part of this.
But if they don't make their goal, Brian, it's not like you don't get your money back, right? Like you guys have like your minimum, right?
We don't have a minimum. I mean, the bro stake is either awarded at that level, or not. And sound like Gian's going to talk.
No, James, I think I was just going to cut to the chase here and ask you the question that I think is the easiest to answer is what's going to happen with the bro stake that may or may not be distributed during a Breakout coin? How is somebody like Brian going to be able to get stake if it's not distributed because we meet that 2,000 minimum?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, what we're going to do... Okay, so let me explain how the sale works. If we don't hit a certain number of Bitcoin, so it's less actually than 2,000 when we kind of, nominally sell out a Breakout coin. If we don't hit that, we're going to burn the rest. So we have 6,500,000, something like that. It comes out to 1,450 bitcoins. If we don't hit that, or 1,450 shares, I should say, the way Bitrex is doing it. If we don't hit that and there's extra coins left over, we burn those breakout coins. Now, say we sell out of those and then we hit the 2,000 Bitcoin level, then those breakout stake rewards will kick in. And everybody will get breakout coin who bought breakout coin, and if we don't hit our targets, there's no dilution of anybody's. It's not like the more money we get in, the more coin there's going to be. There's a fixed number of coins, and if we don't sell them, we're going to burn them. And then, Gian, I think there was another part of your question I may have deviated from.
The stake. What will happen to the stake that isn't distributed?
Oh yes, and so the other part might be the breakout stake. Sorry about the bro. The breakout stake is going to be held in escrow by Bitrex, and they will not stake it. Okay, that's big chunk of stake, unsold stake. You know, we're trusting them. Everybody's trusting them, and they're intensely trustworthy. Doing business with them, these guys are, you know, on the level. They're very trustworthy. They're not going to stake that. They're going to hold it and in escrow until we have a sale. And the reason we're having a sale is that actually makes the incentive mechanism for this sale work, right? You have to hang a sale of those breakout stake in the future so that people know they're actually, you know, getting something whenever they do it. So if you're in the market for breakout stake, there will be a sale of the rest in the future. We stated that in the coin sale crowdfunding page. It's stated very clearly.
Okay. Sorry to bother you.
Thanks for the question, Brian, because I'm sure everyone at home is asking the same thing. So yeah, like this.
There's no short answers.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have short answers. I mean, sorry.
No, and even regarding the whole like DAO situation that went on, I did a little explanational video earlier this week with props and everything, and like it still took 13 minutes. But I think I'm gonna have to reread your all your emissions and everything, and how all the different coins are gonna work with each other. And I'll try and do a summary and work with you guys on that, because I think what you're doing is definitely it's very interesting. Let's put it that way. And I think people really need to understand it better too. So yeah. Look for something very soon, and Brian, we're going to talk again on Wednesday. I'll try and have some better answers for you. Maybe you'll have the video before then, and we can talk a bit more. But guys, we're kind of running to the end of our time here. This has been a really like info-heavy talk here, but we got to end it in our traditional manner of Bitcoin price predictions. So thanks to everyone in the chat too. You had some great questions. I tried to answer them all, and we really appreciate the participation. But to start off here, so what we do is in a week's time, we want to know what the Bitcoin price is. And geez, during the show here, we have some crazy movements. So let's see, James, do you have a prediction of what Bitcoin is going to be next Friday at this time?
All right. Well, let me preface it with this is not investment advice. Risk only what you lose. I mean, but you know, I'm looking at this chart, and you know, we'll probably I didn't exactly hear the day you said. Did you say next Thursday?
Or next Friday at this time. So 1 week.
Okay, I can't hear the audio, but next Friday, like 1 week. I think it's going to be peaking over 800. So, I think we're on the. I think that was the shakedown. That little bottom we just saw there. That's the shakedown, and we're getting ready to go into the pump.
Cool. Okay, so 800 is your number. I'm going to put it directly at that. If you want something more specific, say it now. Otherwise, we'll go on to Gian.
I'm going to say 785.
Oh, you want something?
That's too late, buddy. You already put your number in there. You made your bet.
No, I didn't know. You want an exact number, like where it's going to hit? Put
Yeah,
me down
yeah.
for 8-10.
8-10. Okay.
I didn't realize that was the game. 8-10, please. Thank you.
Andrew, what do you think we're going to be at next week? Paging
You're
in.
on mute.
Friday next week?
Yep, next Friday, 1 week's time at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Don't sue me, guys. I'm gonna guess.
Don't put too much thought into it. It's not that.
All right, 8:50.
8:50. Ooh, okay, going
I
full.
like it. I like it.
Now, Brian, the one guy who could probably say this is
Wow.
investment advice. Let's keep it brief, though, Brian. I don't want to hear all the technicals. I just want to know the number.
On your bit stamp here?
Yeah, I switched to Bitstamp. After I saw those gaps in Bitfinex, I don't want to use them anymore.
Yeah, okay. I'll go 7:30, somewhere in there.
7:30.
And I show the last price on this thing at 6.79.
Yeah, we're at 682 on Bitstamp. Is what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, 6.82. So I'll go. Yeah, I'll say 7:30, somewhere in there.
Now, me with the crucial positioning here, I'm gonna probably be right in the middle of James and Andrew. I'm gonna say like 8:30, 8:28. Yeah.
Holy dyslexia.
8:28. Okay, cool. All right.
Wow, so I'm a low baller here, so wow.
Ooh.
That's a bit
Brian
of,
is conservative. He's the bear. But
isn't that interesting? So you
Peanut
all
lover.
expect within 1 week this price to be much higher, eh? Wow, isn't that interesting?
we'll see how this whole Brexit thing, goes on. But yeah, like I said, this has been a great chat. Thanks so much, guys, to the Breakout dudes for coming out here, and we hope you do very well. Everyone, check them out at bittrex.com. They're currently
Hey,
doing.
good luck.
Thank you, Sturkey, and thanks, Brian and Andrew. We really appreciate your time.
Yep.
No worries.
and,
Thank you, guys.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Brian,
you.
from therationalinvestor.co, and thanks, Andrew, of News BTC and HunterCoin, and of your comfy bed, and and everyone else. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate the questions. If you have any projects that you'd like to see on the show, feel free to tweet us at block_talk, and we'll see you in the next 1,000 blocks.